Yeah, so welcome everybody. This is the big interview series brought to you by IPMI and WhatPackaging magazine. Special guest today calls himself the authentic Maharashtrian from Alandi, a mechanical engineer by training, almost 3 decades in the industry with lots and nuts and bolts of fixing things, etc. He's Prasad Kulkarni, who is the GM of Commercial Industrial. Welcome, Prasad, also known as PK. Welcome, PK.
Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me here.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So we'll be structuring this in 3 parts. The first is a set of sort of generic questions, which gives us a snapshot of what the industry is doing, where we are heading, etc. Then, in view of the work that you've been doing, we'll look at what happened 30 years ago and juxtapose it with what's happening now. And then the third section, because everybody does it and why not us, is the sort of not so rapid fire question. So these are the
Really?
3 parts of this interview structure. We are at the start of 2025, and some of the numbers that have been shared with us are, pretty staggering. It says that the global coding and marking equipment market size is estimated to grow by USD 1.54 billion. So again, because you are a sort of veteran in this segment, what are the India numbers looking, and what are your New Year predictions?
I per se have the BRICS numbers.
Okay.
It's sort of, I don't know the global level yet,
Yeah.
but I have the BRICS numbers, which is a big share of this 1.5 billion, and that is estimated around 600 million. Around
Okay.
600 million for the BRICS. Yeah. So,
Right.
and if you compare the base on which the 600 million comes from, it's about 15 to 20% ballpark. That's the
Okay.
kind of growth we
Okay.
are looking in the BRICS territories. And India in that is a
Mhm.
major share.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah. So we are looking at a upside of 200 to 250
Okay.
million US addition to the
Nice.
Indian market size. Yeah. That's my
That's
take.
good.
Yeah.
Right. Right. And of course, your own at Nilkamal, your aims, your hopes for 2025, and more importantly, anything exciting in the pipeline over the next 12 months?
Well, in Nilkamal, we still consider ourselves as beginning. So we
Okay.
don't aim too high to go up to the big customers. We want to
Sure.
be there and there about the middle and the bottom tier customers, where we
Got
have
it.
a very good what do you call as a recall, as a brand
Okay.
recall. And
Mm-hmm.
also in the top segment, we will eventually venture in 2025, mid of 2025. That's our plan.
Nice. So when you say recall, you mean a lot of repeat customers and so on.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
whatever we've done in the last 3 years,
Right.
it's like 50-60% is repeat.
Hmm.
So
That's good. That's also in a
yeah,
way a testimony to the work that you're doing,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Right.
Product and
So
the
I mean,
brand.
of
Yeah.
course, yeah. So one very interesting, product that I've come across is your Nilkamal F500C. It's sort of two things. One is the fact that it's a brand that is very well known within the ecosystem for
Yes.
coding and marking. And again, correct me if I am right about this, but approximately 2,000 units installed across multiple territories, verticals,
Yes.
etc.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So again,
Including. Yeah. Yeah. I think we've touched around 2,000 now, starting
okay,
from Kanyakumari and this side, Jamnagar to Mizoram, Aizawl.
nice.
So we have
Hmm.
machines installed everywhere in India thanks to the Nilkamal wide network.
Okay.
Otherwise, very difficult to have such big spread.
Outreach. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, it's very
And
difficult.
what's been the success for such a, what's been the success for the F500?
Actually, when we started this product
Mm.
research in 2018, 18, 19,
Yeah.
we found out a typical patterns in the market that all the existing players were having oligopoly. Yeah, they
Right.
were all locking the printers up and forcing customers to maintain at times that they wanted. So that was a kind of a an area where we thought that's a breakthrough for us if we can avoid it for the small customers.
Mm. Yep.
So we found that out, and so we thought, oh, let's get a product done which is exactly addressing those needs. So
Sure. And again, interesting because I mean, you've been one of the pioneers in CIJ, continuous inkjet, and you've been in a way, sort of an evangelist for that product. And I remember, and the time that you probably also took your first steps in the industry in the
yes,
90s, where if we talked about coding and marking, the customer would say, "I would code this is kala hi to chapna hai." So, I mean, again, so what has changed in that sense from that mindset and, of course, regulatory, safety, so many factors here. How have things altered and how have you at Nilkamal responded to this?
yeah, basically, I can connect with what you're saying. The kala hai to thokna hai, right? I mean, that was it in 2000. I mean, 1992 to 2000 to 2003.
Yeah,
Thereafter, I have seen a pattern change. Like
right.
people were moving for those headline stuff. Basically, not very clear about what they want, but they
Yeah.
had that Western headlines. Okay.
Hmm.
So basically, they were looking for headline stuff, and so what I call as a okay, you have a industry 4.0, yeah, 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 come in, like that, okay, as if they're going to start industry 4.0 say
Yeah.
tomorrow. So
Hmm.
that started in 2002, and then
Yeah.
and run all the way till 2015-16. Then again,
Yeah.
there's a shift back to reality.
Yeah.
Like we are
Hmm.
Indians and
Yeah.
we do
Hmm.
things differently, and Atmanirbhar and this and that. That took the front stage. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're now at a phase where we've seen it all,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I think this is a real situation where the real product, the real benefits will survive.
Yeah, yeah. And your take, CIJ, thermal, laser. I mean, there's so much of this.
Well, CIJ is vitality for any company to survive in this industry.
Okay,
I mean,
okay.
like it's a vital product. It has
Yeah,
the product, the versatility of the product, the service requirement, the way the
sure.
customer retention builds up because of it. If you
Yeah,
don't have CIJ, then you're not a serious player in this market.
got it. Nice,
That's my
nice.
bit. That's my take. Yeah,
Makes sense. Makes a lot of sense.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Good. One final question from for this segment. I mean, your top priority for the next 12 to 18 months. What are you looking at Nilkamal? Investments, create more products, productivity. Are you going to be deploying digital technologies which integrate so that reaching out to, as you mentioned, Kanyakumari, Jamnagar, Mizoram, etc.
Yeah.
Talking to customers digitally, or you're going to rethink design in some sort of way. Like,
Well, our focus since last 6 months, per se,
yeah,
has been that customers are now really aware of what Nilkamal is doing in this space, and
nice.
they're looking for more products. अरे
Okay.
खाली CIJ है आपके पास, we have
Hmm.
CIJs, we
Yep.
would like to
Yep.
have more, right?
Yep.
So we have kind of gone ahead, specified, tested certain exciting products. I don't want to open up now, but yes, there is exciting product lineup ahead of us. Q1, Q2, you would see the products hitting the markets,
Okay.
and we also are heavily investing in our capacity to
Okay.
manufacture these products in India and under ISO, very strict quality standards and
Nice.
BIS and ISO and all the safety standards one can imagine.
Right.
So what comes out from those factories has to be a top international quality product.
Of
That's what
course.
our
Of course.
yeah. So
Yeah.
Nilkamal brand
Yeah.
stands
So
for.
all this is going to happen in Nashik. I mean, the rollout,
Yes,
etc.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's the
Lovely.
epicenter. Yeah.
Of course. Great. So we conclude with part one of our podcast. We move on to part two, which is, I think, will require you to give us short, succinct, very intelligent answers. This is called Then and Now. We look back at
Yeah.
the work that you've done in the 90s, etc. Because obviously, different sort of industry at that time, different
Yeah. Yeah.
characters who used to inhabit that, and now, of course, what is transpiring. So the first one, which I think is uh, something that's close to your heart, is customers then versus customers now. So customers in the 90s versus customers in 2024, 2025.
Well, I can only paint a few brushes here. I mean, like my take is when we started selling, then the
Yeah.
customers we met, kind of
Hmm.
pioneers, and they had a long vision. They were
Yeah.
looking 3, 5, 7 years ahead
Yeah.
at a time, and then they were taking decisions with a lot of care, a lot of discussions regarding how it will happen and what will happen, and value
Hmm.
based selling, and so on
Yeah.
and so
Yeah.
forth. There was
Hmm.
a very little kind of internet presence,
Right.
right? I mean,
Right.
it's the man to man talk, and they were all prepared
Hmm.
according to their own domain specific strengths.
Yeah. Yeah.
What changed post, I mean, the now is that we
Yeah.
have many fly by night business people, right? And
Uh,
so they open the factories, they have franchises, and they want printing, and they just knock the doors, buy the stuff, fold it off in
hmm.
2, 3 years,
Yeah.
and then there is a
Yeah.
new owner. So kind of, I mean, I'm not very sort of, I don't like this situation, but I think it will stabilize very soon. I hope so. Yeah.
Is there sort of a chip in your brain that sort of tells you warning signal the moment something like this is happening? I mean, by now, I think you would be sensing this, right? Like a radar that, okay, warning signals going on inside your brain.
Yeah, I mean, like,
Yeah.
yeah. So when you meet a customer today, right? I mean, you can't really see a kind of visionary in like one in 20, one in
Okay.
that's the ratio. Earlier we used to see 1 in 5.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
Hmm.
so that's
Good
that's
insight.
what has changed.
Hmm.
Yeah.
The nature of
So
the
everything
beast.
is
Yeah.
price,
Yeah.
price, price, and
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
fast delivery. Yeah.
Sure. Sure. So, okay, next one. Basic service then in the 90s, basic service now. I know you're doing a lot
Service,
because of
yeah, yeah,
construction
yeah.
and unique
I
models.
I will tell you a lot about this because
Okay.
I myself was a service engineer when I started.
Okay.
So basically, service then was all about getting your customer to accept the product the way it is, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
Because they had not much options available.
Yeah.
I mean, the
True.
options available were very primitive, and so what
Hmm.
they saw was the great, and what was there had to be accepted. And
Sure.
so we all worked hard to accept what was there. And
Yeah.
the service today is all about keeping the volume down,
Yeah.
customers volume down. Basically, you
Hmm.
go, you fix, you come back, and then you again evaluate whether you did the right stuff.
Yeah.
So I think today's service is very very cosmetic, and is very fast, very
Yep.
furious. Yeah.
Hmm.
So that's what has changed,
Yep.
and
Yep.
the depth of the people who are working in service needs
Hmm.
really looked into. I think the Indian industry, in our industry per se, training engineers to give a product acceptance is key here. Like, I mean,
True.
customer
True.
has expectations looking at internet
Yep.
and what's available, and so you need to
Sure.
accept. You need to make the product acceptable to customer. That's the
Yep.
key strength for
Yep.
service engineers.
So a bit more of standardization, bit more of customization. What is, I mean, what are the kind of conversations people are having now?
Um, we basically have our engineers trained. I mean, because I know what it takes to win a customer's heart.
Right. Okay.
So
Yeah.
it's just not fixing nuts and bolts. It's about
Yeah.
setting right expectations about the product,
Yeah.
setting things that he might use that
Yeah.
are there as a feature, but we have not kind of informed them.
Nice.
So this is
Nice.
this is where I call as a
Yeah.
customer delight.
Yeah.
So service plus customer delight is where
Right.
we are heading today,
Yeah.
and we are working really hard to make that
Mm.
happen. Yeah.
Got it. Got it. And then again, a sort of touchy topic: margins then versus margins now. Everybody talks of the robust margins that existed, ki high wo din kind of thing. Yeah.
I can't have more disappointment here than it is.
Right.
These are different times.
Yeah.
I mean, we got ourselves to blame.
Yeah.
The industry was really very healthy to place to run, but
Yep.
then because of a few uh, kind of greedy corporates, I mean, the whole thing got messed up.
Mm,
Yeah, I
mm.
mean, so yeah. So right now where we are, we can't look
Yep.
further going down, because then
Right.
that will be the end of it. Yeah, so it's
Yeah. Yeah.
already
Yeah.
in
Of
the rock
course.
bottom. Yeah,
Sure.
we can't look
No
any
price
further
so
going
there is price pressure and cost structures need to be kept in place. Yeah.
yeah, prices will move up. I mean, that's
Yeah.
what I think is likely
Right.
to happen, because the service element
Mm.
is something that the cost of service is going up every day. I mean, the cost of travel, the cost for the engineers, it's all going to go up. And then that
Sure.
realization for customer regarding the downtimes will also happen.
Got it.
And I
Got it.
think that's where they see the value, and also the product prices might start to move up.
Understood. Yeah, quality, because again, this is a word which is bandied about and means everything to everyone. So, what is quality? What was quality then and quality now? And what is sort of Nilkamal's mantra for
Yeah,
quality?
yeah. Yeah, actually, you know what? This is one area where I was always felt lacking in the past era. Basically, we could only see what was happening around us at the head office levels. The
True.
manufacturing was always outside. We were only
Hmm.
feeding the quality information to the people who made decisions,
Yeah,
right,
good point.
outside of India. And they kind of looked at India as an aberration,
Yeah.
right? I mean, sort of everything is on standard, everything is custom specific. And so
Hmm.
whatever comes out of India, look at it in the context that
Yeah.
of what India is. And then so they had to fix a global quality. I'm not blaming them, but the
Sure.
products were not meant for our conditions.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah.
kind of products came in, and then they were sold, and then all that happened because we had to
Yeah.
please our the bosses.
Yeah.
That was, I mean, quality per se was great then. Quality per se today is also great. It's just
Yeah.
that the customer perception about quality is, then was bad.
Yeah.
And today we are able to get the right perspectives into the built into the product. For example, in the past, a product, when the you know when the weather used to change, the product used to kind of need adjustment,
Yeah.
right? And these days, our engineers in Nilkamal have done a great job in
Yeah.
using materials that, despite being plastic, helps stabilize the product when the temperature goes up or when the temperature comes
Nice.
down. So I really thank the Nilkamal engineers who were very ingenuine, and
Yeah.
they developed this nozzle for us, which is, I'm kind of amazed. Why didn't I
Yeah.
have contact them before?
Yeah. 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 True.
That's
True.
the
True. Yeah. And also, I think the turnaround has moved. No. And yeah. So SKUs, you've again alluded to this in the earlier part, but SKUs then versus SKUs now, because obviously we need a bouquet of in the product portfolio. So has that again shifted?
the complexities of supply chain in India, then and now.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's getting tougher with
It's getting
more
tougher.
the
Yeah.
SKU. Yeah, so with more the SKUs, it's going to be even more, tough.
Yeah.
So what we
Yeah.
are doing is rationalizing, and our we have 40 depots from where we sell,
Nice.
40 locations from where we sell, and that makes it even more harder. So we have a
Mm.
lower SKUs than any other company in this. I guess,
Yep.
and continue to remain like that.
Nice.
Remain like
Nice.
that. And that's where our domain expertise comes in place. Why,
Yep.
someone like me, I know what works, what really is just an addition to the database.
Yep. Yep. Ease of doing business then, ease of doing business now, paperwork, red tapeism, bureaucracy.
I think this is a a move in the right direction. I can only say it's
Okay.
work in progress. The direction
Yep.
has been right, and
Yep.
there have been challenges in the past
Sure.
that were easy to fix,
Yep.
but were continuing to linger.
Yeah.
Now there are
Mm.
challenges which take time to fix, and once fixed, they remain fixed.
Good.
So
Mm.
I kind of like the current environment. The ease of
Mm.
doing business is at
Yep.
least permanent. Once you solve the
Yep.
problem, you move on, and
Yep.
then we have a super express highway.
Nice. Well said. Yeah.
It's not coming back
Certifications
again.
then?
Yeah.
Yeah. Certifications then? Certifications now?
I literally think it's getting harder here. You know,
Yeah.
certifications in the past used to be. I mean, I can't say it as a hogwash, but yes, there was what we call as the agencies were learning, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now they know the inside out of things, how it's done.
Yep.
So
Yep.
certifications these days matter a lot, and I think it's getting. I mean, under the new regime in India,
Yep.
getting harder.
Mm. Sure. No, and also in your case, since you're dealing with so many verticals, I mean, there's food, there's pharma, there's, multiple, I guess, the
I
certifications
mean,
that
I
originate
can
from
I can
those.
I can only tell you that we had a meeting for BIS, and
Yeah.
to list out the products, it took 3 days.
Yeah. Yeah.
so,
Right.
so we have in Nilkamal that many products. So I
Of
mean,
course.
there are so many product verticals like
Yeah. Yeah.
ours, and
True,
each
true,
one of
true.
them has different needs, and so
Yeah.
I mean, it's not
It's
easy.
onerous, no? The task is
Yeah.
onerous. Yeah, yeah. Regulatory then and regulatory now, because I mean, for example, what you're transferring in terms of the coding and marking, that again, there are obviously guidelines, etc. And has that seen a shift?
Uh, Regulatory, in my view, is very stable over the last 5 years.
Okay, nice.
I mean, I would have, I can only say the regulatory part that affects us
Hmm.
is the FSSA guidelines that come
Yeah,
out every now and then, and I think somebody who's having a knowledge of how it is done takes care of these regulations, because I'm seeing people wanting a 6 line, 7 line, 8 line prints, and they're going to add more information like servings per pack needs to be
yeah,
added as well. Servings per
yeah,
pack, the logos for veg and non-veg, they are shifting. They
yeah.
want it to be easy to be read by the people. I mean, people who can't.
Entrance.
Yeah. So
True, true, true,
yeah.
true.
So
Yeah,
these are things that I think regulatory framework, of course, is more reliable,
yeah,
but I think they're just rolling on regulations without knowledge of what technology is available and how can it kind of disrupt the whole chain.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I think there has to be a caution around it,
Hmm.
and yeah, and then a bit of a sort of just use what technology is available.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
True.
why destroy to build?
Yeah,
We're
that's
already
true.
kind of, yeah.
Yeah. But are there voices of sanity who are sort of talking about this why destroy to build concept? I mean, are there? Because
I
no,
have very
sometimes, no,
few.
at times, very few. Yeah.
Very few, very few. I don't think the leaders today, they're just looking for, you know, the products. Like for
Yeah.
example, I come up with a 6 line printer. Huh?
Yeah.
I know that it cannot run faster. I just
Yeah.
go around in the market telling, I have a 6 line printer, I have a 8 line printer. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So, but it's just a tick mark. I mean,
It's a marketing thing. Yeah.
yeah, it's
Absolutely.
a marketing thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and now the buzzword sustainability then, sustainability now.
Well, we didn't have sustainability questions then, and now we have to have. Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's where it is.
Yeah.
Today, it's getting tougher, and
Yeah.
I think sustainability is a key factor.
Sure.
Whatever we do today, has to have that, because next 5, 10 years down the line, the people who take over will say,
Yeah.
the leaders then didn't look at sustainability.
Yeah.
So we had to, I mean, we have to have a lot of time focused on sustainability these days.
Got it. Got it. Lots of things you're doing at the factory in Nashik in terms of, energy efficiency, monitoring carbon footprints, those kind of
Yeah,
things.
yeah, yeah. All these. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
they're. I mean, in Nilkamal,
Yeah.
thankfully, I don't have to decide these. There's a
Sure.
big team. There's a big team of people who have only this mandate, and each factory of ours goes through these checks, and there's a tremendous what you call as a runway ahead of us to do
Right.
things here. Yeah.
Sure. Sure. Got it. Okay. Excellent, PK. You've been doing super so far. Now comes the toughest, your tough test, and I'm going
My
to throw
God, my
questions.
God. Okay.
Yeah. This is the
I'm
rapid
not. I'm
fire.
not. I'm not very quick, huh? So you need to
Okay.
be
No, no,
little.
no. Let me push you. So now you can sit up
Yeah.
straight,
I,
focus,
I like. I
etc.
like to be, slow and steady. Yeah.
Yeah, no, which is good in business, but
Yeah.
not in human. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
so first one in the rapid fire, trends. Trends are friends or foe?
Oh, I don't. I
Right.
don't like the trends. I'm a
You don't
trendsetter
like trends.
myself. Yeah.
Good. Growth, degrowth. What's happening?
Growth, certainly. Growth. Yeah.
Growth?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Very bullish. You're very bullish.
Uh, because from the base that I am in, I have to be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
anything that I do has to be 2x, 3x. Yeah.
Sure. 3x. Yeah, nice. Top of the pyramid, bottom of the pyramid. What should the focus be on?
Actually, I mean, we hope to be there in the top three very soon.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So
Hmm.
that's top of the pyramid approach. I mean,
Okay.
why not? I mean, we are Nilkamal, right?
Of course. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so we have a chance to hit the goalpost there. So why not?
Sure, sure. And again, as a sort of head at Nilkamal, what's your way approach to business? Micromanage the business or autopilot?
Well, if there was something called a nano manage, we would fit there.
Okay, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah, we are we are
Advice.
we are we are mad for detailing, mad, really mad at every level. Yeah, the mad
Nice.
detailing guys, and
Right.
so if there is any word like nano manage, we're there.
Yeah, yeah. So lots and lots of blueprints, lots and lots of AutoCAD. Good,
Heavy
good.
stuff,
Uh,
heavy stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Advice, because I mean we are an industry, we are a nation full of giving advice to everybody. So how much advice do you pay heed to, and how much advice do you ignore?
I tend to stay away from this, actually.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Sensible.
Basically, it's over a period of 30 years. If I start giving advice, I can do it for over a week. Right?
Right.
So then
Good. Right.
so
So
I
give no
don't have
advice,
time
give
for it.
no advice. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. To
Okay.
stay
Fair
away
enough.
from it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Top line, bottom line. What do you prefer?
And Neil Kamal, I mean, I have a conscious, you know, I mean, I have nothing to look other than top line. Bottom line,
Okay.
it just takes care of itself.
Good.
I've got to achieve minimum of 5% of the kitty. I mean, today we are
Yep.
at 2 to 3%. I
Yep.
want my product to be there about 5% in the next 2 years, and certainly 10% in 5 years down the line. Yeah.
Makes
The
sense. Makes
portfolio,
sense.
yeah, I want to build that portfolio.
Yeah, yeah. Business cycle, what's your take? I mean, you're the marathon type or the 100-meter sprint, long term, short term?
Neil Kamal never short term.
Never short term. Right, right.
Never, never, never. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Hmm.
a, I mean, I can see businesses that have grown in Neil Kamal. I mean, from 2002 to
Yeah,
now. I mean, it's a marathon.
yeah, yeah, yeah. TIJ, CIJ, your preference?
It's tough one. Okay. TIJ is what had a lot of steam in it, but
Yeah,
they're gradually losing it out to CIJ.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, TIJ. I mean, if they had kind of coordinated properly at the global level, they could have
Hmm.
had a good run. I mean, the
Yeah.
world would have been better place with less service required.
Hmm. Yeah,
But then there's so much dogfight. I mean,
yeah.
just killing itself. Yeah.
Sure, sure. Right. You also did something interesting. Sorry, I know I'm now guilty of sort of ruining the structure for rapid fire, but you did something interesting in 2008 with the thermal transfer overprinting. What I mean, because that was an interesting approach in terms of
Yeah, yeah.
collecting data, mapping it, and then of course the rollout, etc. Lots of
It
lessons
was
from
not
that.
easy. It was not
It's
easy.
not easy. Yeah.
I can imagine. Imagine I was required to meet at least 100 customers across Asia
Yeah.
Pacific, collect insights, cost points,
Yeah.
where the benefit outweighs the change, basically
Yeah.
the change
Yeah.
management. So all that factored in, and then a product was supposed to specified,
Yeah.
launched, and initially it wasn't easy,
Yeah.
communicating
Yeah.
these benefits. Yeah.
Got it.
So
Got it.
yeah, I mean, 2008 was a great learning for as far as my personal self is concerned.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm
And I
really,
also
really
know it's
satisfied.
sort of disrupted the flexible packaging space, no, to some extent. Yeah, there was a little bit of a
Yeah, yeah,
ripple.
really, really satisfied looking at what is now running. I mean,
Yeah,
like I used to go around market asking for one or two printers to be bought as a sample, way
yeah.
back in 2000, and they would hush me out saying, "Oh, we have CIJs, why are you coming with TTOs?"
Correct, 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 correct. Yeah,
So
yeah. All right. Next one in the rapid fire inks, third party inks or ink price locking.
I leave it, very, very sort of a very high level. We
Right,
think everybody has the right to livelihood, so
right.
so let customer decide.
Yep, yep.
That's where I my take
Sure.
is. Yeah.
Yeah. One time buy leasing options because some of the big daddies are sort of offering that now, leasing options. So,
Well, we do both. We do
okay.
both, and but our I mean, looking at the appetite of leasing, then we
Yeah,
are
yeah,
right up there.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
looking at our balance sheet, we can almost lease out like 3,000 machines a year.
yeah. Yeah, but you
So
also
yeah,
need to roll out and yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Forecasting of orders because I know that's something you keep an eye on. But how do you do it? Quarterly, monthly, weekly, daily, hourly?
Well, in our case, thankfully, Nilkamal runs a little differently. I mean,
Sure,
we don't work on forecasts and things like that.
sure,
We always work on leading indicators.
nice,
Okay, and we only have first and second gear. So once you see the leading indicator, we run in that direction.
nice.
And we always keep a little bit of extra in a pocket, so that when we run faster, our supply chains will take care of those growth.
Yeah,
So none of the forecasts work here.
yeah,
Nilkamal. So whether you do weekly or but so what works is what are the leading indicators and how we are gearing up for it.
yeah, yeah. Right. Transport logistics because I know you have massive outreach. So how do you do that? Outsource, in-house, partners.
You know what? I had a challenge here,
Okay.
and Nilkamal made things very, very easy. I mean,
Yep. Yep.
it's like an Amazon of B2B. I mean, like we
Mm.
have our trucks moving around the cities every day.
Mm.
Around
Yeah.
600 trucks move from all the
Yeah.
10 factories. 600 trucks move, and
Yeah.
then somebody's taking material to the customer's industrial area that we are looking for delivery. And
Yep.
so it's that volume and scale that's helping
Yeah.
us a lot
Yeah.
in terms of
Yeah.
our product. This was always a challenge
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
coding and marking, and for us, thankfully, it's very, very easy. Nilkamal,
Yeah.
it's the that's where our customers are liking us. We can
Yeah.
deliver stuff at the best price and at the speed
Yeah.
and the best price, of course. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah. It's a good headline for us, the B2B Amazon. So I can see the whisky guys lining up for you. Yeah. 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 Okay.
No,
Last three or four. What is important? Knowledge intensive, relationship intensive. You've talked about it, but
I
what
mean,
is the real?
I haven't highlighted. Thing is, I'm at core a very, very farming salesperson. Okay, I
Okay.
mean, I'm not a hunter, so I personally feel relationships matter a lot,
Yeah.
and that's sort of surprise. I mean, that's serves for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's a slow lane. But
Yeah,
yes,
it is.
it's a
Yeah, it
it's a
is. It is. Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure. Yeah.
And PK, I know that you do a lot of factory visits and travel, etc. One factory that you visited recently, which made you go wow, in terms of what they're doing, processes, efficiencies.
Well, I think the next level of factory that I'd seen recently
Okay.
was somewhere in Umbergaon area,
Okay.
where they were making this sanitary napkins, and the way the factory was shaped from what it was before till now, that
Mm-hmm.
stands out to be. I mean, it's a 30-year-old organization, and the way it's transforming is something. I mean,
Amazing. Yeah.
unbelievable.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, and
So
then
again,
it
Umbergaon,
opens up a
the
lot of
Maharashtra,
yeah,
yeah, Maharashtra Gujarat border. Nice, nice, nice.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Next show or conference where Nilkamal will be making a big splash in 2025.
Beg your pardon, I didn't get the question.
Sorry, next trade show, next trade exhibition, expo, conference where either you'll attend or Nilkamal will be, making a big
Yeah,
splash.
well. I think this is. I don't know if the last meeting goes. I mean, we were looking at around 30 to 35 trade shows,
Okay,
and
wow.
yeah, our management is very open about it. And
Yeah,
if I ask for about another 10 to be added, they will not look behind. So
yeah, yeah,
as long
right.
as
Yeah, yeah.
it will be high
Super.
decibel marketing for the next 1 or 2 years. Yeah,
Wonderful. Yeah, great.
yeah.
Um, w- Sort of final two questions. Where do you see Nilkamal in 2030?
Well, we have a very high, what you call as a potential.
Okay.
And looking at, and since I've been over 10 years in Nilkamal now also, okay, and I've
Yeah,
been
yeah,
here since 2014, and
yeah.
I think the runway that we have tells me that we are going to be very, very far in terms of top line. Yeah, are
Okay.
very bullish. We're very bullish on top line, and we think to double by 2030 from where we are in 2026. That's where I'm
Hmm.
looking. We have a
Yeah.
very, very high aspirational goal for 2026.
Yep.
And once we reach there, and I think if we can do that, we will be able to double it by 2030. It's,
Wow.
yeah, so
So,
it's a huge
good
thing.
targets. Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah. One final question. I know you're an active member at IPMMI and also a sort of, a sane voice in the industry. One wish list that you would like to, one wish list that you have on behalf of the industry, not just Neil Kamal, that something that if, say, someone in government in North Block or South Block is listening or paying heed to, something that you wish that with their magic wand they're able to, solve. Something that's aspirational. Policy,
Uh,
anything.
a common yardstick
Yeah.
for the big and the small.
Yeah.
I think
Mm.
I'm not. We have many mom and pop shops for coding and marking these days.
Yeah.
There are no
Oh
regulations
yes.
for them. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then whereas when a big name like us in Kamal is in, it's like every detailing applies to us.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, and then we have to fight at the local level with these things, and challenges are there. And
Yeah.
I mean, as I said, our company believes that everybody has a right to livelihood. But at the
Yeah.
same time, there has to be a level play in terms
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
regulatory. So
Yeah.
I think I'm hoping that all the regulations that apply to us are
Mm.
applicable to the
Across
people
the
who are
spectrum.
across
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
spectrum.
Got it.
That's really one wish list.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you, PK. Great answers. Not very rapid. Not rapid at all. In fact. Yeah.
Okay, I hope the rapid one was. I mean, I don't know.
Right.
I'm
Fair
not a
enough.
rapid guy in anything, so we're very
Fair
laid back.
enough.
Yeah.
Right. All right. Thank you for that.
Thank
And
you.
that was Prashant Kulkarni, GM, Commercial Head Industrial Printing at Nilkamal. Thank you for this conversation. This podcast is brought to you by What Packaging Magazine and IPMI. To sort of listen to many more such conversations, do subscribe, log in, whatever it is your preferable mode. Please do that and tune in. All right. Thank you, PK, and
Thank you.
more
Thanks
great
a lot.
work.
Yeah.
And yeah, yeah. And
Yeah, yeah.
we'll
Thanks a lot. I think great questions, huh? And by
yeah,
the way, I think you guys are quite in it. Yeah.
right, right.
Excellent to know that, we have someone who's really working that hard towards growing
Yep.
this our industry, which I find
Yep.
it very hard to explain to my daughter also. Like, what do you do, Papa? You know,
Right, right.
it's so
Good.
so specialized. Yeah. So yeah,
Superb. So we'll catch up
yeah,
soon. Hopefully, I'll meet PK and
maybe.
PK's daughter soon. Yeah. All right.
Thank
Okay.
you. Thanks
Over
a
and
lot.
out.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.